when you didn't show up for work, you didn't send me an email or let me know. And that's all I'm saying. And then if they're saying, oh, I'm so sorry, that will never happen again, then maybe they don't. But if I say, hey, when you didn't show up for work, you didn't send me an email. If you keep doing this, like, you're going to get fired. Then they're going to correct their behavior temporarily. True. That's how you got to think about this. Otherwise, you get sucked back in all of the stuff, and maybe she's going to slash her tires or whatever is going to happen after they break up with her, right? They don't want to
deal with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what do? They put it off. Or they try to get her to break up with them.
Right. That is we got to talk about that. Good thing you brought that up. My definition of everything I've been saying involves having those conversations. Because I think you should have those conversations like when you're first at that 3-month whatever mark, and you're like, okay, like these things need to change, or like, this is what I want out of a partner. Yeah. And then go from there, focus on, and then also ask them what they're expecting. Yeah. And then you can focus on their needs for the 3 months or however long. Yeah. And then by then, and even I wouldn't even have another conversation like that. Maybe if I was trying to be nice, I would have it the day before I broke up again, just to kind of reiterate, like you said, like, give them another explanation. Yeah. But also in my mind, I'd be like, I told you 3 months ago. Yeah, exactly. So you can't tell me you didn't know.
Well, it's just like firing, when I fire people, it is very similar. I never fire someone and tell them why so that they can argue about it and tell me how they're going to fix things. And I don't give them a warning that they're going to be fired if they don't fix these things. Mm-hmm. I just simply point out things that are going wrong. Like, oh, did this doesn't look like this happened, or doesn't look like you're communicating when. I'll just point out, like, when you didn't show up for work, you didn't send me an email or let me know. Right. And that's all I'm saying. And then if they're saying, oh, I'm so sorry, that will never happen again. Right. Mm-hmm. Then maybe they don't, but if I say, hey, when you didn't show up for work, you didn't send me an email. If you keep doing this, like, you're going to get fired. Mm-hmm. Then they're going to correct their behavior temporarily. Right. Right. Whatever it is. And they're going to trick you. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as you let your guard down again and you think that everything's cool, they're going to go back to their behavior. And it's the same thing in a relationship. So break up, you just point the things out. Like, this is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is what I want. This is what I need. You don't threaten you're going to break up if this doesn't happen. Yeah. Right? Because you're not going to get a true response. Because then they're going to do the thing in order for you to not break. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you're just saying those things. You're observing, seeing how they're responding. And then that's giving you the information you need. And once you've made the decision, like I said, when I fire someone, I just tell them, I've already made my mind up 100,000%. Mm-hmm. There's no talking me out of firing you when I'm going to fire you, because I've already pointed out the things. I already have said the things. I'm not going to I'm not going to do threatens. I'm not going to do warnings. Mm-hmm. I don't need you anymore. You're done. That's it. So that's how you got to think about this. Otherwise, you get sucked back in.
Yeah. Well, what would you say to the men who have a hard time doing this? Like, I mean, we've given a lot of good advice for how to do it the right way. Right. But what I'm just thinking about the men who are hesitant to do it at all, like, they might even hear everything we're saying and be like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, besides saying, like, man up and do it, I feel like, I'm not saying women can't ghost men, but I feel like men typically ghost women, or they stay in the relationship when they're not happy and they're not communicating their needs or things like that. So
that's why I'm saying, like, I'm making it easier for you as a man if you have the conversation first and then not break up. And then, because the reason why most men don't want to break up with a woman is because she's going to cry and they don't want to hurt her and they don't want to deal with all of the stuff, and maybe she's going to slash her tires or whatever is going to happen after they break up with her, right? They don't want to
deal with that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what do? They put it off, or they try to get her to break up with them.
Right. That is some real. We got to talk about that. Good thing you brought that up.
Or they do break up, but then they soft break up and they get talked out of it because they're like, it's not you, it's me. You know, trying to don't sugarcoat it. But don't also
explain.
Right.
Yeah.
You just say like, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. That's enough. If they ask you why, say I have my reasons.
Or we already discussed.
We've talked about them before. Whatever, express them. I mean, unless you got some stupid reason for breaking up, like
you don't ski.
whatever it is, but you should even have talked about that, because even if you're like, okay, well, she gained weight, I want to break up with her because I'm not as attracted to her anymore, then you should have still had that conversation, right? You should have just had the conversation, because if you're going to break up with them anyway, you might as well have had the conversation, right? But don't do it after breaking up with someone. That now you're really getting your tires slashed. But
well, especially something with like weight or something, because someone can fix that.
Yeah, and exactly. No one
and
wants
you
to,
can help her fix that if you do it in the right way.
But I'm saying, I'm not, that really shouldn't be that big of a deal to you. But if it is, because I know there's a lot of guys I've coached that's a big deal to them. So, okay, if it's a big deal to you, it's probably not your soulmate anyway. But let's just say that it's a big deal to you. Then just address it. Just talk about it. And then if it goes really bad when you address it, but it is important to you, then hey, then you gave a chance, and now you can break up and just say, okay, I'm breaking up. That's it. So
my mind is going to a side note thing. We watched this video where this guy said that women have lists, but men don't, but gaining weight